Hello, students. I am Dr. Meenakshi Mahur, Assistant Professor, Zoology, Sri Savliaji Government College, Mandfya, Chittorgarh. Today, my topic is bacterial transformation. In previous lectures, I already discussed vegetative reproduction in bacteria, asexual reproduction in bacteria, bacterial conjugation. Now, today, I am going to explain bacterial transformation. It is one of the methods of genetic recombination in bacteria. So, what is bacterial transformation? There are three methods of genetic recombination: conjugation, transformation, and transduction. As true sexual reproduction is absent in bacteria, so there is a genetic recombination. Transformation is the genetic recombination in which bacteria absorbs naked DNA. It was discovered by Frederick Griffith in 1928. He performed experiments on pathogenic bacteria Streptococcus pneumoniae and discovered transformation. So, first of all, I would describe what is this experiment. So, there is Frederick Griffith experiments on pathogenic bacteria, that is Streptococcus pneumoniae. There are two forms of Streptococcus pneumoniae bacteria. First is S form and the second form is R form. S form is a virulent. It is a pathogenic form of the bacteria. They form smooth colonies on a culture dish. While R form is non-virulent. The mutant is the mutant form. It lacks an enzyme which manufacture the polysaccharide coat and therefore they form rough colonies and they are called R form or non-virulent. So Griffith performed experiment. So first of all, he infected the mice with S strain of Streptococcus pneumoniae bacteria. As we know, S form is encapsulated and virulent. So, when he infected the mice with S strain, the mice died of blood poisoning or due to pneumonia in mice. Now, second, he infected mice, similar mice with R strain of Streptococcus pneumoniae. As we know, R form is a non-virulent, non-capsulated, non-encapsulated. So the mice remains alive. It did not cause pneumonia in mice. Now the third, he infected dead S strain or heat killed virulent S strain into the mice. So what he observed? The mice remained healthy. It didn't die. Then the fourth experiment, he infected or he injected mice with a mixture containing a dead S strain and the live coatless R strain. That is, he killed S strain plus live R strain. So, what he observed? The mice developed the disease, that is the pneumonia symptoms, and many of them died. And what he found? He found live virulent S strain bacteria in the blood of dead mice. So, these bacteria have now surface protein of the live, which was previously R strain. So, information of polysaccharide code has been passed from the dead S bacteria to the live R bacteria in the mixture, and Griffith called this transformation. So now it is clear S strain is a virulent and caused pneumonia in mice, and that's why it died when infected. Then second, R strain is a non-virulent and it did not cause pneumonia in the mice when infected. Third, heat killed S strain is a non-virulent and did not cause pneumonia. Then the heat killed S strain mixed with the live R strain injected into the mice developed pneumonia and died. So what he discovered? He discovered that blood samples of dead mouse contain live virulent S strain. So he recovered live S strain bacteria from the dead mice. So what is the conclusion? He concluded that R strain bacteria had somehow been transferred by the heat killed S strain bacteria, and some transforming principle transferred from heat killed S strain bacteria had enabled the R strain to synthesize smooth polysaccharide coat and become virulent, that is a S strain. The transformation of R strain to S strain is due to the transfer of genetic material. However, the biochemical nature of the genetical material was not defined from his experiment. So, one thing we can know that protein of the heat killed S strain is not the genetic material. RNA of heat killed S strain is also not the genetic material. DNA of heat killed S strain is the genetic material, because DNA digested with the DNS mixed with R strain, unable to transform R strain to S strain. So, transformation is the transfer of free DNA released from donor bacteria into the extracellular environment, which results in assimilation and the expression of newly acquired trait in a recipient bacterium. This process doesn't require a living donor cell, and it requires free DNA in the environment only. The recipient that successfully propagates the new DNA is called transformant. And during extreme environmental condition, some bacteria spontaneously release DNA from the cells into the environment free to be taken up by the competent cell. And the competent cell also respond to the changes in the environment, and it control the level of gene acquisition through a natural transformation process. So transformation is adopted as the most common method of gene transfer because it is the best way for the transfer of artificially altered DNA into a recipient cells. And the process of transformation can transfer DNA regions of 1 to 10 of kilobases. So what are the requirements for the bacterial transformation? So first is competent cell, then supercoiled plasmid DNA, transformation medium, selection marker, that is antibiotics or chromogenic substrate. And what are the basic four steps in transformation? First is the development of competence or competent cell preparation, binding of DNA to the cell surface, processing and uptake of free DNA, and then last, integration of DNA into the chromosome by recombination. Now I am going to explain this with the help of one diagram. So first step is development of competence or competent cell preparation. So it is artificial development. So the artificial development of competence can be done through electroporation or through the heat shock treatment. Uh, this methods, which method we should choose, depends on the transformation efficiency, experimental goals, and the available resources. So, if you want to do heat shock, or for the heat shock, the cell DNA mixture is kept on ice, that is 0 degrees Celsius, and then exposed to 42 degrees Celsius. And for electroporation, the mixture is transferred to electroporator, and then it is exposed to a brief pulse of high voltage electric field. Then second step is binding of DNA to the cell surface. So the double strand DNA released from the live cell or donor cell. So these are the double stranded DNA which are released from the live cell. They bind non-covalently to the cell surface. There is a no DNA sequence specific recognition. Therefore, organisms can potentially incorporate DNA from outside their species. Then processing and uptake of free DNA, and it occurs in 3 to 5 direction. So the bound double stranded DNA is negged and cleaved into smaller fragments by membrane bound endonucleases, which allows the single strand to enter the cell through a membrane spanning DNA translocation channel. Now, last is the integration of the DNA into the chromosome by recombination. So, here you can see recombination occurs between the donor DNA and the recipient DNA. So, here you can see if it is a the donor DNA is capital A, capital B, and the recipient DNA is small a, small b, small c, small d, small e. Now, if we see recombinant DNA or transformed DNA, so you can see the capital B in this recipient DNA. So, the transformed DNA integrates into the chromosome and replaces the chromosomal DNA fragment by recombination. So, here you can see genetically transformed cell where this is donor DNA and this is a recipient DNA. So the integration require significant nucleotide sequence homology between the donating DNA fragment and the fragment in the chromosome, that is a fragment in the recipient chromosome. If it is a plasmid, the plasmid with donor DNA is inserted during the heat shock or electroporation. And the cell with the plasmid can be detected by growing these cells in a growth medium supplement with a specific antibiotic. So now from this diagram it is clear what is a bacterial transformation. Now there are two forms of transformation. It can be natural or it can be artificial. So when bacteria naturally have the ability to incorporate DNA from the environment directly, then the transformation is natural transformation. But when the competence of host cell has to be developed artificially through different techniques, then it is known as artificial transformation. So like heat shock treatment or electroporation, these are the required in the artificial transformation. Now what are the applications of transformation? So this phenomenon is being used in a molecular biology because they are easily grown in large numbers, and transformed bacteria can be used as a host cells to make multiple copies of the DNA, the required DNA. It can be used in cloning procedure. It can be used to express large amount of proteins and enzyme. It is very useful in the generation of cDNA libraries, and Again, it is more useful in the DNA linkage studies. Now, examples. The first and the most prominent example is a transformation of DNA from smooth capsule positive colonies of Streptococcus pneumoniae to the rough capsule negative colonies. It is the first mechanism of bacterial genetic exchange which was recognized. Neisseria and H. influenza take up DNA from their own species, which occur by species specific recognition. And natural bacterial transformation is also observed in the case of Bacillus subtilis. So these are the examples of bacterial transformation. So in today's lecture, I explained what is transformation. Transformation is one of the methods of genetic recombination in bacteria. It was discovered by Frederick Griffith, who performed experiment on pathogenic bacteria Streptococcus pneumoniae. There are two forms of Streptococcus pneumoniae, S form and R form. Now, in this diagram, he he observed that the heat killed S strain when mixed with the live R strain injected into the mice developed pneumonia and died, and he recovered live S strain bacteria from the dead mice. Then he concluded that transformation of R strain to the S strain is due to the transfer of genetic material. And genetic material is DNA. Now, transformation is the transfer of free DNA released from a donor bacterium into the extracellular environment, which results in the assimilation and expression of the newly acquired trait in recipient bacterium. So requirement, competent cell, supercoiled plasmid DNA, transformation medium, and selection marker. And these are the 4 steps: development of competence, binding of DNA to the cell surface, processing and uptake of free DNA, and the last, integration of DNA into the recipient chromosome by recombination. This is a diagram. Two forms of transformation, natural and artificial. Applications are, we can make multiple copies of the DNA. It is useful in cloning procedure. It can express large amount of protein and enzyme. It is useful in the generation of cDNA libraries and useful in the DNA linkage studies. Example is a transformation of DNA from smooth capsule positive colonies of the Streptococcus pneumoniae to the rough capsule negative colonies. It is also observed in the B. subtilis, that is Bacillus subtilis. Thank you.